This episode is sponsored by Delaware Hyperbarics. Reduce your symptoms, speed your recovery, and reclaim your body at Delaware Hyperbarics, located in Lewis, Delaware. Their facility offers hyperbaric chambers, therapeutic massage, myofascial release, extracorporeal pulse activation therapy, red light therapy, low-level laser therapy, massage for motor vehicle accidents, active isolated stretching, and infrared saunas. To learn more, you can go to DelawareHyperbarics.com or call 302-313-5555. Crosstown Walkers has partnered with New Light CBD for these podcast episodes. If you use CBD as a product to help with your pain management or mental health, all Crosstown Walker listeners can use promo code CTW at newlightcbd.com to receive 10% off your order with New Light CBD. That is NULIGHTCBD.com using promo code CTW. This promo code will be valid until the end of the month. New Light CBD is offering free shipping as well for the end of the month for all listeners. New Light CBD is established and manufactured in the first town in the first state of Lewis, Delaware. To make a donation to the Crosstown Walkers NAMI Fundraiser, you can head over to donate.nami.org/crosstownwalkers. You can also head over to crosstownwalkers.com/fundraiser to stay up to date with all the latest information regarding the fundraiser. All patrons will be entered into our gift raffle for a chance to win one of the following items: a CBD bundle full of various products from New Light CBD, 5 infrared sauna sessions at Delaware Hyperbarics, a free brain mapping at Brain Love Neurotherapy, a $250 value for you to learn how your brain is functioning. This involves 2 50-minute sessions, one to get EEG mapped and the second to review your brain maps. And lastly, Lynn McDonald's first book, The Great Tree and the Ladybug. For any questions, you can email devincanfield@gmail.com or reach out to us on social media via Instagram. If you would like to extend your support to Crosstown Walkers, you can head over to buymeacoffee.com/CTWmusic. Our 5th episode features our sponsors, Delaware Hyperbarics, and their owners, Steve Caldwell and Liz Guida, and they discuss all of the different types of wellness treatments they have at their facilities located in Lewis, Delaware. So, episode number 5, Steve Caldwell and Liz Guida. Thank you.
I'm Liz Guida.
I'm Steve Baldwill, co-founder of Delaware Hyperbarics.
We are co-founders.
So we have to start, I guess, with saying like what Hyperbarics is for one, and it'll be a full circle answer, I'm assuming, but where Hyperbarics comes into mental health and just health in general. And I've done it 3 times now, which has been great.
Yeah.
And I can talk about my experiences a little later, but I think you guys can paint a picture for someone that doesn't even know what a hyperbaric chamber is, anything like that. So if you guys want to take the floor, it's all you.
Sure. So hyperbaric oxygen therapy is breathing oxygen under pressure. It's a simulated pressure of the weight of seawater over your body, just like a scuba dive. It's simply those 2 things combined. And from that, your body takes in about 1,200 times the normal amount of oxygen in your body to use to repair a number of ailments and conditions.
So what Steve actually means is in the air there's 21% oxygen, and when you do a hyperbaric oxygen therapy session, you, like Steve said, you go down in pressure, and when you go down in pressure, the oxygen molecules become smaller. And if we have 21% oxygen in the air, the rest of the percent in the air is nitrogen and some pollutants. And you said 1200. So I think what you mean is after 1 hour of breathing, almost 100% pure oxygen, your body will have 1200 times the amount of oxygen molecules. And what's that good for? Well,
it's what isn't it good for? It's good for every single thing. That's part of what's one of the questions.
How did it make you feel?
Yeah.
To be completely honest, I was telling you both. The first time I felt kind of stoned.
Yeah.
Like a euphoria, I would say.
It is a euphoria.
But not like a psychedelic euphoria.
Right.
It was like giddiness, like grinning. It felt really good on my ears. I don't know if they ended up telling you that, but I swear, like that's like for music and how much I take in sound in headphones or phone calls, but loud music and mixing, like actually being involved with mixing music and hearing all these different frequencies and adjusting them. Something about the pressure on my ears, being involved in the pressure and then not having pressure afterwards felt really nice. But the oxygen itself in my body, oh my gosh, it was uplifting and felt light, felt kind of light in my body. And I stand a lot for playing, so if I'm standing for 3 to 5 hours at a stretch for gigging while singing at the same time, it's like, I think when I think about it, it's very physically exerting to sing because you're standing and just constantly breathing, and it felt obviously very relaxing.
But did it also feel healing?
Yeah, it did.
Because that's really a little bit how we got started. I mean, if you wanted to know.
Of course. Of course.
Well, I mean, it's kind of two massage therapists meet each other, and I was looking for space and Steve was, and we ended up really loving what we do, and we're in the business of, offering healing and different types of integrated healing.
And always looking for for something more for our clients, just another level over the years, just trying to do the best, trying to do more for our clients, to provide what we think is the best opportunity for them to heal their bodies for whatever reason. We see a lot of people, and some of those people they've been in accidents, or they've been hurt at work, or in a car accident.
Or there's nothing wrong with them at all.
Yeah.
So you do find that people just almost come in just to
improve their performance. Sure. Marathon runners, or just it improves your performance to take time to get body work.
Well, here's a question as I'm thinking. Do you guys feel like people need more nowadays, in the sense of it's harder to disconnect? So they need more, like you were saying, you want to push the boundaries. So do you think these types of therapies are becoming more available because people need more outlets, more resources?
I think they do. What comes with a lot of that is anxiety and those type of issues. And in our search, it's sort of where Hyperbarics came up. The way that it works with anxiety, to relieve anxiety from people, to help them. And I think if we come back to your dive, when you were saying, well, I felt stoned, but in a, not stoned way, but in a, maybe it was clarity. Reduce mental fogginess, just a clear mind, almost, if you will, that sometimes you feel from being in a
quiet almost. Like you say, calm, the sense of quietness in the mind.
And also a little meditative.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was definitely meditative for sure.
Right.
But it's like double-edged sword because it still impacted my body as well.
Right.
Because I have Lyme disease, and you say it even helps with Lyme disease for people, correct?
Sure.
It helps with the symptoms
Yeah.
of Lyme. It can't treat Lyme, but it helps alleviate a lot of the symptoms. Some of the achy joints and
Lyme bacteria is not very happy in a highly oxygenated environment. And that's what happens to your body. And the result is, those symptoms are reduced. So, especially for Lyme, there's a lot that happens during hyperbarics to relieve the symptoms, because as you may know, depending on your severity, it can be just devastating for people. Tired, fatigued, just to where you cannot even really function.
Yeah.
it just means that we fell into it by accident, just healing through myofascial release, and then we had gotten an infrared sauna, and then we had a soft shell chamber, and we were using it for experiments with friends and relatives, and we are in a complex with other doctors, and we invited them to come, and it became super popular, and that's how we ended up getting the hard shell chamber. Really just about attraction, not promotion. We weren't really promoting anything, but then it became used so much that we thought, wow, it's so interesting, that people really want to heal. And you talk a lot about mental health, and people want to get better. People don't want to feel not themselves. And I know that Steve and I just feel really honored, blessed to be part of somebody's journey. It's a really kind of sacred thing, It's hard to ask sometimes, or it's hard to sometimes take 60 minutes out of your life to go. I think you're so busy, that was hard for you to even just slow down enough to stop and say, okay, I'm going to try this new hyperbaric chamber, I'm going to get some body work. It's hard in the way you have to work longer hours.
And I think with a lot of the things and the people that we see here, it's not just 1 hour, a week. We have people that we see several times a week, for body work who are trying to recover from injuries. So it's a commitment. Usually when I tell people that have been in a car accident.
That's true. That's really true.
It's kind of a part-time job.
It is.
Part-time job to heal, to help heal your body.
Yeah.
So, it's a giant commitment to make.
Lifestyle in the way.
Right.
Yeah. So when you were saying, I think it'd be good if we kind of like explain and elaborate on like the soft shell chamber versus like a hard shell chamber. Like if someone, even if like they're auditorily listening and they're like, soft shell crab, like what are we talking about here? Like,
Exactly.
So the soft, there's two types of chambers that you guys have.
Right.
Can you explain those two, the differences? And I know they're not drastic, but if someone's trying to visualize like what they look like or what they are.
The soft shell chambers are portable. They're flexible.
Would you bring them with you places?
Yes.
You could pack it. You could really pack it up and
Bring it on the
with you.
airplane.
Yeah.
We could.
Yeah. And the soft shell, or what they call mild hyperbarics, it operates just at one level, at one depth. It's 1.3 atmospheres, or like 10 feet under the surface of water.
Okay.
That's it. There's no adjustments. Boom, you're up. You get to pressure. You're there, and then you come back up. That's it. The hard shell chambers are not portable. The ones that we have, they weigh 1,200 pounds.
Oh yeah. Sure.
But it is a chamber, so you are, inside of kind of a small submarine type of thing, and it's made of metal, and it operates at a variety of levels. So you can go from the 1.3, or you can go all the way up to 3 atmospheres, or about like 66 psi in pressure.
And now that's also, if I'm remembering, the levels and like the depths almost of
Correct.
submersion, if that's the word, like the
Right.
different levels you can actually
Right.
pressurize affect almost different ailments. Is that true?
For each one, there will be a different depth. You know, and just kind of roughly, you know, concussion is, we generally do at 1.5. So
But
it's
actually-
like 16 feet below the surface.
16 feet.
It might not be generally though too, because maybe they broke their tailbone, or maybe they, you know, also hit their shoulder. So we really try to tailor it. We're super lucky the support that we have for our Hyperbarics. We have Alex Williams, who is been speaking on the panel for hyperbaric medicine.
We met her at the International Hyperbaric Association. She was actually one of the presenters, the safety presenter, and you know, by some grace of God or miracle, she
We
agreed
ended
to-
up sitting
to work
behind
with
her,
us.
yeah, and
Oh, wow.
I just was
Just
really
randomly.
impressed, yeah, with her knowledge and her insight, and just the way she was so articulate, and just approached her. And she had done a triathlon, and I've done a triathlon, Steve's done a triathlon, and I guess that common bond, she said, I think she's way too busy, but we somehow won the lottery, and she said, sure, I will help you guys and be your, you know, consultation. And she works with another super bright woman, Dr. Stella Parks. And so we're lucky also and fortunate to have her supporting our endeavor. And Steve and I have taken a lot of classes and tests and building it so that it is amazing for everybody.
And safe. You know, the biggest thing we want to make sure is that people getting in, that it is appropriate, that they have gone through the intake form. We've read everything as much as we've been provided, hopefully everything, and that we can make a safe evaluation of everybody who gets in the chamber.
And our chambers are FDA approved,
FDA approved.
Right.
Okay.
which is important. The welding of the seams,
Okay.
you'd want that.
And a lot of the chambers that you can purchase, of course you can buy anything online almost. There are a lot of chambers that are available online that are not FDA approved. There's very few that are.
Okay. That's good to know.
That's one of the things that we made sure of.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once you meet Alex Williams, right? Is that Alex Williams?
Right.
And you kind of find these teachers in a way. What was it like when you first started doing this, and like what was like, did you have like hurdles when you first started opening the business, like getting clients, or do you think people kind of like knew about this, or?
No, they didn't know about it, but it was exciting because it just caught on. We were lucky the Cape Gazette wrote an article about it, and then one woman called, another man called, and it started spreading after the woman's experience in the chamber, and she loved it, and she told her neighbor, and that neighbor said, oh my gosh, my sister and my mother and, you know, my son, or, you know, was just injured in a field hockey tournament, you know, please, you know, can, you know, so it's just, it kind of by word of mouth.
And it started, you know, we had one chamber, we met Alex in November. In February, our first chamber was delivered, and we started working. And in June, our second chamber came.
I guess it wasn't actually that simple either. It was a lot of hours. Actually, the truth is, like, I personally woke up at 5:15 in the morning in a panic that we were going to be late for work at 7 a.m. I mean, I trained for triathlons and stuff, and you had to get up early and go biking and running, and this was just really we had to wake up and just, be there and learning, and just actually it was like cramming for, I don't even know what kind of exam was coming up, but
the ultimate exam of some sort.
So it was a little bit crazy, actually.
And this is actually kind of, I guess maybe on a different type of subject, but what was it like opening your own business? Like, because you guys were in massage prior to like doing just hyperbarics. Then you integrated? Like, what was that like? Was that
we've been
nerve-wracking?
slowly integrating other things with our massage work over the past few years. But, went from massage to our EPAT machine to the
What is that?
low-level
EPAT
laser.
machine?
EPAT is extracorporeal pulse activation, so it's a sound wave that's created.
Basically, I got calcification in my bicep tendon from swimming, and Dr. Patrick Kane was like, Liz, I've heard of this, I've read about it, and we end up buying one and it worked in 6 weeks.
Sound waves.
In 6 weeks, it absorbed the calcium. It broke up the calcium and absorbed back into my body, and I can swim.
Yeah, on our website we have the X-ray of the calcium deposit in 6 weeks. It was like an 80%
That's so cool.
reduction in the size of the calcium deposit.
But if you have something like plantar fasciitis, super painful, it's good for a lot of stuff.
And do you almost feel sometimes like the body holds pains and traumas that affect our mental health too? Like, do you think, because I almost feel it's like say metaphorically, in like church or something, they say like the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, like in our lives is like our physical body in tandem with our mental body more than we think.
Probably more than we even know or even would hope to know.
Yeah.
We study the myofascial release with John Barnes. He's amazing, inspiring. We got the privilege of working with him in his clinic in Melbourne, Pennsylvania. But what we learned, because you're asking about that, is that your subconscious is interwoven in your fascia, which is pretty much everything except for your bones. So if you fell off a sled when you were 5, that's still in your body. If you skied or whatever traumas, everybody's body is different and unique to them. And over a period of years and time, right? Mm-hmm. So that goes to your mental aspect. If you're not, dealing with the traumas, if you're not balancing your body back out, then a lot of it gets trapped inside your body. Have you heard of people, sometimes they have, colon cancer or stomach, or it couldn't be necessarily from emotions, but sometimes it can be from emotions.
Physically and mentally.
Yeah. Because because if it's the myofascial type of releases that you do, I guess from my only perspective, was it from what you guys have seen, like when you had seen like my upper back and things like that, and like releasing those tensions, I can feel the pressure like released, because it's like when you feel good in your body, it's almost like it's energy that then can be used elsewhere in your mind of being like, oh well, I'm not in pain. So do you find that people come in here and maybe do like a massage or the myofascial, am I saying that right? Myofascial. Will they do that, then maybe go use the sauna, and do they use this stuff in tandem too?
That's, kind of what's really amazing about it is you could go in for a hyperbaric oxygen session and then get a myofascial release massage, and we finish with the sauna. It's really good for detoxification and faster healing using all the modalities. Mm-hmm. Just integrating it together. You've done that a couple of times. You did the chamber and then went into the sauna.
You honestly want to know what it reminds me of? And it's been a while now, but in high school, like when I used to run track, and like we would have like a hard day of like conditioning or like a meet, and afterwards, and maybe it was because of the oxygen from like running a race, or I don't know what it was, but there was something at like the end of a sporting event, whether it was wrestling or basketball or track and field, it was almost like, as they would say, like the runner's high kind of.
Right.
When I left, I felt cool, like quiet, like you were saying earlier. If we revert away from saying stoned or the euphoria, the calmness, the centeredness, recalibration maybe is the word I like to think about.
One of the things that reminds me of one of our patients who was in for concussion, and what she thought would happen is she thought that getting in the chamber would help her complete her tasks for the day. She'd have more energy to complete her tasks because she would just, all the tasks were here, and she would just like take it all at one time for the day.
She felt overwhelmed, you mean, almost?
Well, she did, so she thought the hyperbarics would just give her more power.
Okay.
What it ended up doing was helping her prioritize, so her day didn't go like left to right anymore. It started getting more vertical. So she prioritized things that she needed to do first, things she needed to do second, things she needed to delegate. So the day progressed through this vertical line instead of her trying to do everything at one time, being overwhelmed, being upset, being confused, and really sort of losing herself into trying to do the day, and then none of it actually gets completed.
Yeah,
I just had a concussion, and I want to do that.
That's what I'm saying. I know that feeling well, whether it's a concussion or not.
It's the confusion that it really helps with concussion, attention deficit. There are a lot of studies for attention deficit, autism,
for the
calmness for the chambers, right? Right. So it's interesting how you mentioned that, and we've seen that happen.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Pain relief. One of the things too is we were always looking for something for our parents, especially our fathers. My father had a stroke a couple years ago. Liz's dad has Parkinson's. So there's these battles of all different kinds going on inside of their body, and for my dad, with his stroke, it I think has put him to a level where he would not have been. In addition, it's reduced. He doesn't even have any pain. He fractured a vertebrae in a fall after he had the stroke, like a year later, and he has not taken a pain medication. He's in no pain whatsoever.
I think that's the biggest thing that the hyperbaric chamber does is reduce inflammation.
Yeah.
Who does not have inflammation?
Right.
I mean,
well, stress and food even causes inflammation.
Right.
So it's like, there's just, I feel like there's so much discovery happening, and like we're treating so many different things now in new ways. Like we're understanding things.
It's so exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it was exciting to see, like your father kind of.
Well, the whole thing, it's so exciting for us to be able to provide this avenue for people, because it's we're the only place in Delaware that you can pay to get into a hyperbaric chamber.
Actually, I think we were attracted to it. We wanted it for ourselves. Because it's good.
Well, what has it done for you guys in a way then maybe? So like we've talked about, you said your father had Parkinson's. He's used it?
He uses it every week, all the time. And he brings my mom. And nice. 2 people can go in together. They make a cute little couple.
It's a fort. It's a cool fort.
Yeah. It's a really cool fort.
And it's Parkinson's, someone who's dealing with a stroke. If I'm going to put myself in there, traumatic stress and anxiety. That's in there. Concussions, all these different things. But I guess for you guys, maybe individually, whoever wants to go first, what is it? What have you been using it for? What do you use the facilities for? And what's the differences you've seen in yourselves?
Well, I personally, when I wake up in the morning, I'm just go, 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 and then I pretty much collapse. So what I love is I get just 60 minutes of just quiet, just focused. I can just kind of meditate, and a lot of times, honestly, I just fall asleep.
But do you find it's difficult ever when you get in there to quiet yourself? Because I want to add this, where at first, even when I got in there, it took me a little bit to get calm. But when I just focus on actually intaking the oxygen, that's where it was almost kind of, what's the word? Where that kind of was putting me under.
It's usually the point of it where the dive itself is you going to pressure. The dive itself, you don't have the mask on. You only wear the oxygen mask for the time that you're at pressure. Mm-hmm. So you dive down, you get to your level, you put the mask on, and then you breathe oxygen.
It's like when you're on the plane, they're like, all right, you guys can now put down and bring out your electronics.
Right. It's kind of like when you take your seatbelt off.
Yeah.
I think at that point, it's relaxing. You're finished with ear clearing, so there's, once you pop your ears that last time, you hear totally normal, just like you would if you were outside. And then there's just sort of a relaxation that starts as you begin to breathe the oxygen in.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was feeling. So, like, do you find, though, and the reason I ask is because, say somebody is thinking to themselves, oh, I'm go, go, go as well. I'm on the
right.
horizontal list. I'm running across back and forth on my to-do list.
Yeah.
Do you find it's difficult to relax in there? And if you have, what have you done to overcome that? Or are you finding that, no, this is my space, I dedicate this space to be no, I'm relaxing now?
I think it's interesting because you can get to that point, like my father, he's in there for 60 minutes,
mm-hmm.
He sleeps for 58.
Nice. There you go.
On the other hand, I think it was, we have some people who, and maybe your mom might be one, just to use parents as an example, feels like she's more productive in there. So she has her calendar, and she's scribbling out her appointments and doing all kinds of things. Other people read in there. So when you do something active like that, your cognitive abilities inside the chamber under pressure are heightened. So
playing a game like Luminosity inside the chamber is an amazing idea because it helps your memory, helps your cognitive recall. It's really good.
Wow.
And it focuses you on doing something else, and so you don't have anxiety about, I have to relax. So you can entertain yourself in all different kinds of fun ways.
And how do you feel when you're finished? After you're, if you said, I'll go, and then after a session,
I feel really, really relaxed. I feel like it clicked into a different speed. Just be more.
I feel like you shifted a gear almost.
Yeah,
kind of.
Definitely.
And what about for you?
And for me, I've noticed I've done the chamber at all kinds of different times.
Mm-hmm.
What I found is I can sleep all night, come in the morning, get in the chamber, end up taking a nap again. And in the same way, I've been in the chamber late at night, slept, get up and go home and go to bed,
mm-hmm.
and go right to sleep.
And you guys offer blankets.
And we
very
have
nice blankets.
Good blankets.
Gotta say.
Yeah.
Can't forget those.
Good blankets and good pillows.
Because I've slept every single time.
Yeah.
And in the same fashion, because it's been moments to kind of relax.
I think sometimes too, and if you're really, over, you're shifted into high gear and you're just going and going and going, getting that time that you can say, give yourself permission really to not do anything, and then the sleep comes very easily.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, what would you guys say? I feel like are there any other major points to this that come to your guys' mind with something like this? I try to think, like, when I think of someone who might be listening who it's not that their minds are turned off to, I wouldn't even say this is alternative medicine at all, but just what would you maybe say to somebody that doesn't know anything about the world of like hyperbaric chambers or massage or saunas, anything like that?
Right.
Do you have any sort of insight?
I think especially for hyperbarics, use Google, do some homework, look for some information and see what's happening.
There's a lot of studies, but it does a lot of great benefits, a lot of great health benefits.
It's really things from athletic performance to sleep improvement to
overall life performance. It sounds like,
I mean,
just
it's
for you
really
performing in life.
It's what isn't it good for, or what doesn't it help? I think one of the things we always talk about in a way is cellular cash. And if you imagine, a rundown city is your body being a rundown city, you get this influx of cellular cash that helps you start rebuilding roads and bridges and buildings and painting and planting, and everything just starts to bloom and come together.
It's true. The more sessions that you have, they build on each other in your body. I didn't know if you realized that, but you've had 3 sessions. If you have 10 sessions, actual capillaries are being rebuilt
and
in your body,
reformed. So
especially like if you had a surgical procedure where they cut through.
Yeah, that's right. Because so people use it for wounds too.
Sure.
Now, what's the thing with that? Like you were just kind of explaining it. What does that mean?
It's a faster healing of your body, no matter what it is.
My daughter severely cut her hand, severed a nerve in her pointer finger, and was in so much pain. It was so hard to see her. And actually, she said, "What mom would have this, that I could go to?" But it significantly helped her to heal more quickly.
And we had a guy had a total shoulder replacement, and what they told him was, "You'll be back to normal maybe in about 6 months." 2 months after his surgery, he played in a 4-day golf tournament.
Oh wow!
That's pretty significant.
So that is impressive. It's really significant for something like that to happen. And just the recovery from being in the chamber, the benefit of the massage and myofascial release and the sauna and the red light therapies, just all of the integrated things that we...
You can do red light therapy in the chamber. Did we do that for you one time? Yeah, you put it on your head.
I have a picture. I'll put it in the
on
video.
Your head.
I'll show it if it's happening. I'll show it right now of me in there. I just woke up that morning too, and I was like, it just all was very rejuvenating.
Yeah.
I do. I feel like that's kind of what it feels like, rejuvenating. Feel like I said earlier, like recalibrating the body at a cellular level.
Yeah. Naturally.
Yeah.
Well, this is not anything that doesn't exist in our bodies right now, outside of our bodies right now, that is just there naturally.
Well, I think that's what kind of brings, even to circle to a point of the allure of what these types of things are for me to share for others, is because I think with mental health, if we were to talk about that in particular, it's very complex, it's very confusing, it's very challenging. There's not a lot of answers. It's very it's gray, it's not very black and white. It's so many different colors on the spectrum, if we were to say. And I think that one thing we're discovering, like I said earlier, is that there's new alternative things out there, and a lot of them are, like you said, natural. Like you're using oxygen and this pressure, which is pretty profound, because if it does, like the brain fog thing, I can relate to a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Well, the one thing Hyperbarics does, by getting that much more oxygen in your body, you already have oxygen in there, you just don't have enough. So by supplying more, it affects the processing that you go through when you have anxiety.
Yeah. Well, we were even saying the one day on like Wim Hof breathing, what is that? A lot of oxygen.
Yeah.
And there's so many things that he uses that breathing practice for, where that's the one thing I was doing in the chamber is deep breathing with the oxygen already. And again, I'm not a scientist, so I don't know, but I definitely could tell the difference. And I just think it's great that there are these, like, would you consider this holistic? Is this considered like a holistic practice in a way?
Oh, absolutely.
Right? I don't even know what the actual term of like holistic, like what it would mean, but I just think it's great because some people have a problem with medications.
Well, it's natural.
Now, can you use this stuff in tandem with medications?
So the caution is that in the same way that your cognitive abilities are heightened, you do have a heightened.
But also, that's true. So if you're taking pain medication, you don't want to take it before you go into the chamber because it will process through your system faster.
Okay.
But also, like if you have cancer, radiation, you could use the hyperbaric chamber and have half as much chemo, half as much radiation, because it goes through your body faster. So you could use it that way, which would be amazing because
some of the studies are showing that's one area. The other area in the way is it says if your chemotherapy and radiation need to be increased because of your situation, using hyperbarics in conjunction with that allows you the recovery to be able to deal with an increase. So there's all kinds of different things that are being studied out there, from anti-aging to just your physical performance.
I saw that you guys have the TB12 book out there. I'm like, Tom Brady's definitely using this thing. He probably lives in one of these things. I even think that Justin Bieber did too. Now that I think about it, because my sisters are big Justin Bieber's fans. Shout out to Jamie and Faith. That because he was struggling so bad with Lyme disease and depression, that he, in between tours, was using hyperbaric chambers. Now that I think about it, and
all kinds of football players, famous athletes. We just recently, just maybe assisted. She did 3 hyperbaric sessions in a row, and also got some myofascial release work. She's also an amazing athlete, very dedicated, but she qualified for the Boston Marathon. She was pretty excited.
Oh wow, that's incredible.
So, it wasn't because of the oxygen, but maybe it helped.
They're tools. They're assets to improve your stock. You kind of, you invest in these things so your personal stock and well-being can increase.
And whatever your stock is, whether it's running to qualify for Boston, whether it's having better function in your hands.
Because it really helps, for your joints, sometimes arthritis.
Or just to function by yourself with as little pain as possible and not to have assistance.
Because that's the thing, I think at the end of the day, is that, which is, I don't want to say I hesitate, because it's not that it's sad to say, but people are in pain, whether it's emotional, physical, spiritual, and there are things out there, and I think it's a matter of finding what it is. And I think you said it great. Think about what it is your stock is, if we're going to use that metaphor. Boston Marathon, guitar, singing, performing, or Tom Brady TB12. Or just like you said, you want to.
Or doing the dishes and making your bed and cleaning your home.
Exactly.
Or being under control while you're driving from anxiety from a past car accident or something. So there's a lot of things.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
No,
And
I appreciate you.
so if someone wanted to set up a session, or if they wanted to get in touch with you guys in particular, how do they do that?
Just you can go on our website, and our phone number, everything is listed on the website.
So you could share it with them.
At 302. You can call at 302-313-5555
Okay.
or at DelawareHyperbarics.com.
And then to summarize, you do myofascial release. I'll let you guys explain it, like all your services that you guys have.
Yeah, myofascial release, massage,
Red light therapy,
hyperbaric oxygen therapy, and
infrared sauna.
infrared sauna, and extracorporeal pulse activation, which is sound wave therapy.
I'll say that 100 times fast. or 10 times
We
fast.
also offer Swedish and deep tissue massage.
That's awesome.
And we take auto, if you've been injured in an auto accident or hurt at work, we take insurance for workers' comp and motor vehicle insurance.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
This episode is sponsored by Delaware Hyperbarics. Reduce your symptoms, speed your recovery, and reclaim your body at Delaware Hyperbarics, located in Lewis, Delaware. Their facility offers hyperbaric chambers, therapeutic massage, myofascial release, extracorporeal pulse activation therapy, red light therapy, low-level laser therapy, massage for motor vehicle accidents, active isolated stretching, and infrared saunas. To learn more, you can go to DelawareHyperbarics.com or call 302-313-5555. NAMI envisions a world where all people affected by mental health can live healthy, fulfilling lives, supported by a community that cares. NAMI provides advocacy, education, support, and public awareness so that all individuals and families affected by mental health can build better lives. Today, NAMI is an alliance of more than 600 local affiliates and 48 state organizations who work in your communities to raise awareness and provide support and education that was not previously available to those in need. Crosstown Walkers stands by organizations like NAMI. To show your support, go to donate.nami.org/crosstownwalkers, or you can head to crosstownwalkers.com/fundraiser to find more information.